I've had the opportunity to help hundreds of teams all over the world solve complex and critical problems. Many years ago, I used to try to predict the solutions they would come up with, but I learned pretty quickly that whatever I could predict would usually be blown away by what the team came up with. So I don't try to predict anymore. But what I do know is teams are going to solve problems, and some of their solutions will be mind-blowing. One thing I like to do, though, is don't wait until the session or the project is over to recognize and reward teams for their great work. It's great to reward their milestones along the way because it really keeps the momentum going. So what I've also known and learned is that people remember the activity more than the reward. So the simple act of thanking somebody for good work goes a longer way than if you just gave them money at the end. So reward those milestones along the way. So here's how I do it, and maybe you can use some of this stuff. One of the things I like to do is, as a facilitator, is kind of put myself out there and do some fun and silly things and hopefully get the team to start relaxing and feeling like it's safe to be themselves. So oftentimes early in these sessions, I create milestones for teams to accomplish. For example, this milestone might be come up with a plan of the work you're going to do after lunch and then explain it to the rest of the team. So when sub-teams come back and explain their plan, I always say something like, let's hear it for the sub-team, and I start clapping. If I can get the rest of the team to start clapping, it starts to build the pride and excitement and enthusiasm, and sometimes they make fun of it, but it tends to be something that is easy to do. We can have fun with it, we can make fun of it, and it's kind of infectious. Okay, so that's great. So I do that a lot. How many opportunities? And if I'm doing it well, sometimes they'll say, let's hear it for us, and they'll clap for themselves. So that's even better. It encourages them. It loosens up team members. Now, I like to give out little trinkets. I like to give away stuff all the time. I've given away little ninjas and my books and other fun rewards and prizes. But I always suggest, again, give something that people can keep, a trinket. Don't give away money. I always encourage leadership teams and sponsors to come up with a small trinket of some sort that you can give out, because the money gets spent and forgotten about, but the trinket lives on. People remember it. So let me give you an example about a trinket that I give out that I call my token of appreciation. So it's a coin. Now my coin is kind of worn down, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. So what's the inspiration for this? Well, the idea is that I always wanted to give away something at the end of the event, because I was always being given things like shirts and hats and things like that. So I wanted to give something to each of my team members that told them how much I appreciated them. And one thing I realized was hats don't always get worn and shirts don't always get worn and paperweights may not get put out. But a coin never gets thrown away. Have you ever thrown away a penny intentionally? So if I did something small, something that's like a coin, odds are it would not get thrown away. So, and hopefully somebody would leave it out or carry it with them, and it would remind them of the exciting, interesting, or positive experience that they had. But I wasn't really sure. So the first time I handed them out, it was at the last day of a Kaizen event in the morning when each of the team members was coming into the room. So I would meet each team member and hand them the coin, telling them how much I appreciated their hard efforts to help the team win. Well, I felt kind of odd doing that because it was the first time. Anytime we do something for the first time, it feels a little uncomfortable or odd. And I handed one to one of my team members, and he looked at me with such pride, and he said, "Adam, this is awesome. This is my new lucky coin." And I thought, wow, That's really cool that he would even say that. I didn't know if he really meant it, but he said it. So anyway, about 6 months later, I'm in that same factory and I'm working with another team and we're walking the line just to see what's going on in the new area we're trying to improve. And I hear this forklift pulling up near me and I see the prior team member. He says, "Adam, check it out. I still have my lucky coin." And he holds his coin up. And I was like, that's just amazing. He really did mean that. But wait, the story does not end there. About 9 months later, I'm helping another team in that same facility. And here comes that first team member. And he was so proud. He's showing me his coin. And he wanted to compare it to my coin to see which one was the most worn down. So that just reinforced the fact that the memory of the event and the positive experience and the breakthroughs are what are so critical, that so one little bit of recognition made that big difference in his thinking around improvement and the positive experience that he had, so much so that pride just kept going 9 months later. I hope this story provided you with some inspiration to revisit your own processes. I have a lot more I'd like to share. Head over to pi-partners.com to learn how I can help. And check back from time to time for more Kaizen stories.